Okay, everybody, this storyboard is in regards to the 80 acres at the top of Wrist Canyon, also known as Mount Ethel. What we're doing is we're flying up Wrist Canyon here to see the acreage, get a good feel for where it is. It's 80 acres directly west of the Maloof MLD. A lot of people know about the subdivision process he's trying to go through for his 462 acres. Down to the lower right of this blue triangle, you can see the 10-acre parcels. Maloof already split off. We're looking out across those parcels. The 80 acres is in the distance on Mount Ethel there. Just to give you an idea of the terrain, here's a topographic map I've overlaid over Google Earth. Essentially, the two yellow dots on the right are the corners, the east corners of the 80 acres that we're looking at. We're going to pan around towards the northwest, just to give a better view of what the area is like. Essentially, there's a square 40 that drapes over Mount Ethel and another square 40 down in the valley that goes basically to the east there. As you look, you can see there's panoramic views. This red arrow points directly at the next photograph. There's some beautiful photographs here. What I'm going to do is use the overhead view to show where the following photographs are taken. Essentially, there's a lot of rock outcroppings. The next photographs are going to face out to the southeast from this red circle here at the top of Mount Ethel. We're going to start with some views going out over the valley. And we're going to pan from the east towards the south. This is a terrain that I'm standing in here. As you can see, there's a great deal of ground cover, a lot of trees, sweeping valleys out to the south, southeast. Here's the peak directly to the east. It's a little bit lower than Mount Ethel, as you'll see here in a little bit. Here's the valley that Maloof is proposing to subdivide, and essentially it comes right up to this 80 acres here. You can see down below, here's one of his access roads. Okay, next you're going to find the views in the distance are basically Fort Collins, but we're going to look at some of the terrain that I'm standing in here. A lot of rock outcroppings, tons of moss rock, a lot of aspen trees. This shot was just too pretty to pass up. Next, I'm really looking at building sites. There's quite a few flat areas, plus a lot of walkout areas for prospective building sites. There's some great views from just about every spot on this 80 acres here. As you can see in the next map, we're going to be panning around. This is over towards Laramie, back around towards Cheyenne now, and we're looking out over the Poudre Canyon. Panning around towards Fort Collins, you can see the yellow roads in the distance. That's probably 287 showing up there in Google Earth. As you keep panning around, if you go all the way, you can get clear to Long's Peak, but we're not going to go quite that far. We're just going to go over the Wrist Canyon Valley here. This next set of photos is taken from the top of Mount Ethel, facing that northwest area. Laramie in the distance. We're looking over Roosevelt National Forest. Young's Gulch is in there, Stove Prairie Gulch. You can see here's quite a few more flat building sites. Right on the very top of the mountain, there's about 2.5 acres of flat terrain. And quite a bit of timber up there, nice thick timber with, you can see the ground cover on the basin there. A little bit more moss rock, quite a few little pieces. Be nice to put around the base of your cabin. Now we're going to look off into the distance over the Young's Gulch, Roosevelt National Forest area. You can see how far you can really look from this property here. It's just beautiful when it's quiet up here. Actually, as we pan around, this day when I was up there, you can't really see in these photographs. You can see clear out to, I believe it's North Platte, where the power is in Nebraska. The power generators, the steam rising up. Okay, we're looking down into Young's Gulch and Stove Prairie Gulch here. And feel free to pause this at any time and go back to those maps so you can see a little bit better. See, here's another view spot here. Looking out nice flat terrain. We're also going to get to some elk, bear, deer, and mountain lion maps here in a little bit I got from the Division of Wildlife's webpage. As you can see, there's just a ton of rock outcroppings. Okay, this next set of photographs is going to face out towards the southeast. You can see I marked Long's Peak in the top there. All these photographs are where the red arrows are pointing. I put a check mark next to the Stove Prairie School if you want to pause and go back to that. Starting in the southeast, you can see from the very top of Mount Ethel just panoramic views. Really just don't get this anywhere else. Out across to the south now. I'm going to climb over these rocks here and get us a little better view to the southwest. Okay, here's a shot of a nice spot here. You come into the aspens. If you come around here, we're coming up to the southwest. I'm going to poke through these trees here, and you're going to see the little valley where the Stowe Prairie School is there. Nice little spot off in the distance. Then I want to get a corner pin. This next shot is right midway between the two parcels. It's actually midway on the west side. Then we're going to come up. Here's the elk map from the Division of Wildlife. All of the purplish and the green and the yellow there are elk terrains, and the red arrow points to the Mount Ethel 80 acres. It sits right in the middle of that elk range. Of course, from the Division of Wildlife, here's the mule deer range. The 80 acres is in that red box again. You can see the yellow, orange, and purple, all marking mule deer habitat. Then lastly, actually not lastly, this is I believe this is the black bear terrain. So the grayish area and then the purple area all shows where they've had black bear. And of course you don't get mule deer without mountain lion. The brown out area is mountain lion. Purple little pieces you can see in there, bits of, is where they've had run-ins with mountain lion. They document that as well. So there's quite a bit of wildlife up there. Finished with one of my favorite shots here, that large rock we saw in the beginning down in the lower southwest corner. Just a beautiful parcel. If you have any questions, give me a holler. Thank you.